Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another show of a street man and a Christian woman. And tonight's topic is focus on the good. Focus on the good is a good topic because just as well as we spoke about issues that we had in the marriage to try to pass on a little bit of wisdom and knowledge on things that you go through in a long marriage, we're going to talk tonight about focusing on the good so that we can hear good things in the marriage that wasn't always just rough trials and tribulations. We've been together for 23 years, as I've always said. And in that 23 years, we've been together a long enough time to where we went through some things. And going back to that topic of focus on the good is something that was told to me tonight, through a conversation that was said to me that think back to the first time we met and how it was when we met that day. And that's the truth when you take yourself back to that moment and you think about the good from that moment till now. The good. I ain't say the trials and the tribulations, I said the good. And I'm saying that to say that tonight is a good topic because we went through longevity, longevity brought on change. Brought on change to the point where not just in our marriage, it was brought into society. When I say that, what I mean is focus on the good. For many years of our marriage, we lived a biblical life through Christian ways and believed that I was the final word. I was the last say, and we found out through time that that's not the way maybe that God really planned it for it to be. And through 23 years of marriage, I experienced enough to the point to realize and learn that through time, it may not have been that God wanted the man to be more superior and that the woman be obedient to him. It may have been that God gave you a partner. And that's what we have experienced and learned through time, that old way is not the way it is. And there's going to be many men out there that may not understand where I'm coming from, but I'm here to tell you tonight the truth, the word, and the way it is that maybe God did not intend for her to be so obedient to you and you had a final word because he gave you a partner that thinks about that marriage just like you. Sometimes think of things better than you. So not only did he give you a partner, but he gave you a person that may have a stronger opinion than you. And that's what I learned through time, as I said, time, longevity, and change. And our marriage changed from that biblical way. She's no longer just supposed to be obedient to me. I'm supposed to be obedient to her. And time brought on a change in our marriage. And it's a beautiful thing because her opinion is valuable. Her opinion is, in most cases, more valuable than mine. It's just that you still be stuck in that old biblical way and you believe that she's supposed to let you say the last final word, and that's just not the way it is in the world anymore. Maybe it wasn't meant to be that way in the beginning, but here we are years later, as I said, in our marriage through 23 years, time brought on a change and God gave her the grace to go through it when she did. And now God's going to give me the grace to understanding that things may change in the aspect where it's not where I have the final word. Because as through years, we learned that she really had the final word in most things that went on in our marriage and in our life and keeping things together through loyalty, through being a great woman, a great wife, a great person, and kept this thing going. You know, it's funny now that we're looking at it and maybe not in such a biblical way, but through time I used to always say that I was the captain that was supplying the ship, but she was the captain that was running the ship. And that was the truth. She kept this thing going. I just provided to keep it going, but she kept that ship going. So that's my intake on focusing on the good. And I'm going to pass this thing to Miss Kenyatta and let her speak. So on to you, Miss Kenyatta.
Thank you. Yes, there's a lot going on in this world today, but there is good and bad with all people and all relationships. And you have to focus on the good. The good, bringing out the goodness in your partner. We hear negative. We hear shame, drugs, addiction, problems. We hear all of that. But we still need to let the light shine that there are still good men, still great husbands out here. They don't get credit, but we need to love them and help bring out the good in them. Like when he make you laugh, thank God he's legal. sex, kids, balance, self-control, discipline itself with this addiction. All of this is all of what we deal with, but we learn to find the joy in it. You got to find the joy no matter what you're dealing with, whether it's good or bad. Find the joy, find the love, find the energy, find the support, find the what you can do together. Sometimes just sitting up together and giving each other a hug. Just find the good and the warmth and the compassion that it may take you 5 or 10 minutes just to smile and say, hey, you're going to do a good job today. If you're having a bad day or having a rough day at the job, just learn to be quiet and say, you know what, it's going to be a better day. And you got to learn to laugh and choose the direction that you want your relationship to go in. You got to focus on the good.
Yes.
The world beat down our men enough, and we don't bring out the good in them. I mean, from all type of pressures that they face. And if we don't make them seem like they're great men, healthy, legal, working a job, taking care of their kids, all the workload that's on the man today, we are losing the battle of marriage, of relationships. So we got to find the good. You got to talk about the good times, the good things your partner does. Bring it out. Let them shine. Let them light. Let them glow. Let them feel confident. Let him feel of value. Let him know that he means something to you. Don't just talk and treat each other any kind of way.
Yes.
Even when, he could have a bad day. He had a bad day today. And I had to learn to just shut up. Because he need a peace. And just 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours later, went out, had a drink maybe, calm down, relax. Give him a hug and say, baby, you know what? You worked today and I'm proud of you. And I appreciate you providing today. Something that simple could turn your man around and change the atmosphere, the whole relationship. Because you want to save the relationship. And you got to find the good. No matter what, even if it's your children, find the good. Tell them you love them. You're proud of their grades or their sports or whatever they're dealing with. Even if it's relatives or it's co-workers, whatever you're dealing with, you got to find the good. It's good in this world. We just got to bring it out. If we focus on the negative, we ain't getting nowhere. It's plenty of negative, but we got to focus on the good. Focus on the good. Focus on the good. There is still good people out here. There are still good times out here. Not just vacation, just sometimes just being with one another. So make sure you learn how to bring out the good in your partner, no matter what. Get out your comfort zone and bring out the good. Back to you, Mr. Delgado.
And in closing, thank you, Miss Kenyatta. And in closing, I like to include that that's what I mean about bringing out the good. I've been blessed with a wife that's been bringing the good out of me for many years. And that's what it's all about. And that's what I have to, in return for her, is make sure that I bring the good out of her. And that's what makes you partners. That's what God intended for y'all to be. He didn't intend on anyone to be superior than the other. He depended on y'all to be partners. And being partners is where y'all going to have to learn through time to be able to speak and know when not to speak to each other, to maybe bring it to another time. So I hope that this show tonight helps someone and make them understand that time, longevity, and change is going to happen in your relationship or in your marriage. But just understand it as it comes, and appreciate the moment and the time that you had together. Because at the end of the day, as I always say, you had somebody to share your life with. For 23 years of my life, I've been sharing it with this woman. So right there, that alone is the good. Regardless of what we went through, that's the good. Looking at the good. So, as we always say at the end of the show, love, peace, and togetherness, and good night.